Oh, yeah, welcome back to the English class on parts of speech. And this one, we want to focus on the English pronouns. This is not a string topic to us, but we still need to focus and um, give it the requisite attention that it demands. At the end of this class, you should be able to describe nouns, identify the types, the forms, the functions, and then write comprehensive and appropriate sentences in English. When we refer to a pronoun, what does it mean? It's usually considered as a word that what replaces a noun, right? So Bolu is cooking rice. Now, in order to replace the noun Bolu, what do you have? She, right? So she is a pronoun replacing Bolu there. Azan and Emeka are friends. Are friends. So in order to use a word to replace Azan and Emeka, you know what? They. So that they there is a pronoun. I lost my pen. Could you lend me yours? Now that yours is a possessive pronoun which is replacing the noun pen, right? In connection with my, which is my pen. I believe you are following that. So that is just to refresh our mind on the concept of pronouns. And then another thing you also need to note is that the forms of pronouns are determined by the positions and forms of the nouns they are replacing. Two things are made there. The forms of a pronoun will be determined by the position. We have subject position, we have object position before and after the verb respectively. Are we following? Then the forms, the word, the noun you want to replace, is it singular? Is it plural? If it is singular, then you are going to go for a singular pronoun in its replacement. And if it is plural, you are going to go for what? A plural pronoun in its replacement. Are we following? So let's look at this. Bolu is cooking rice. In the earlier example, Bolu is function as a subject, right? And then Bolu is also singular. That's why you are going for what? She is cooking rice. She, replacing it in sentence 2. However, assuming you have it after the verb, instead of she, it's going to be what? Her, right? Don't forget that. Bolu and Emeka are friends. Bolu and Emeka at the subject position, and then plural. And Bolu and Emeka there are third person plural, right? So you have third person plural, they, being used in item number 4 to replace Bolu and Emeka, which you have in item number 3. I saw Bolu and Emeka. Now, what is the position of Bolu and Emeka now, right? Is it still the subject? No. That is at the what? Object position. So you have what? Bolu and Emeka at this object position. And since it's also plural, which one is object and is plural? Among the pronouns, you have them, right? So that's why you have I saw them. I believe you get that. And in this class and the subsequent video lessons that you are going to focus on, you are going to be considering 8 types of pronouns, which are personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, possessive pronouns, that is item number 4. 5, relative pronouns. 6, interrogative pronouns. 7, demonstrative pronouns. And 8, indefinite pronouns. However, in this class, we want to continue with the discussion of personal pronouns so that we'll take others in other video classes as we continue. Now, personal pronouns refers to the speaker. That is, as I'm speaking now, the pronoun that I will use to refer to myself will be what? Personal pronoun. Then we have the person or persons addressed. So when you are addressing someone, there are pronouns you use for the people you are addressing. And what you are referring to, what you are talking about, your referent in a communication, you also use personal pronouns to refer to them. And you also need to know that personal pronouns are used more frequently than other classes of pronouns. There is no day English is used as an expression, as a medium of expression, that you don't have personal pronouns being used. I believe you are following. Now, based on the roles of participants in a communication, that is, which role are you performing in a communication, that will determine the classification of personal pronouns into 3 types. The first person, second person, and what? Third person. The first person is the performer, is the speaker. Are we together? The speaker, speakers. The producer, if it's in the written form, that will be writer or what? Writers. If the second person will now be the person you are talking to. That is, as I'm talking now, if I'm to refer to the person that listens to me, the listener, then I'm going to say you, you. So you, the second person, right? And then the third person will be the items, objects I'm describing, or someone I'm talking about, my reference in that communication. I believe you are getting me, right? So don't forget the producer of the in the communication, first person, the recipient, the receiver, second person, and that thing being talked about, being described, the communication will be third person. Let's demonstrate it with examples here. First person personal pronouns. Now, I told you the performer, right? If you are to look at it in another sense, but that is the speaker or the writer. If it is singular, at the subject position, that is before the verb, take note of that. You have I. That is the initiator of the communication. If that is at the object position and it's still singular, it's going to be what? Me. Can you see object singular? Then if it is plural, if I am representing a group of speakers or writers, then I'm going to use we. If the slot is before the verb, don't forget my description: before, after. So before the verb, subject. After the verb, object. So the plural will be what? We at the subject position, while us will be at the what? Object position. Don't miss this information. Number two, second person pronoun. I told you that the recipient. If I'm speaking, if you have the speaker, the recipient of speaking will be what? Listener, right? The listener, the hearer, the addressee, someone you are addressing. And if it is already in the written form, then you have the reader. So the reader of a text, of a book, will be the what? Second person. That is the recipient of the information. Are we following? Now, if it's at the subject position, singular, you use you. If it's at the object position, singular, you still use you. At the subject position, plural, when you are referring to more than one person, it's still you. When it is object position, that is after the verb, and it's still plural, it's still you. Are you following? So you, whether singular or what? Or plural. But one thing about you is that when you use you, it may be singular or plural. It always attracts a plural verb when it functions as a subject. Are we following? Let me also comment on the first one before I move to the third person. On the first person pronoun, you see I as a subject. When you use it with be verbs like am, is, was, those are the singular be verbs, right? But the one that work at the present position with it is am, singular. Past, was. But when you are using I, singular subject, with action verbs, lexical verbs that show actions, you are going to look for plural verb for it. So you are going to say I go, I think, I write, I see, not cease. Because though I is singular, it attracts a plural verb when you are using it with what? Lexical or action verb. I believe you are following me for that. And you know that we is primarily plural and it goes with plural verbs. Now, on the third person pronouns, you have their singular forms, which are he, she, and it. He, masculine, male. She, feminine, and it, neuter. And these are the singular forms at the subject position. At the object position, for him is what? For he is what? Him. For she, you have her. And for it, you still have what? It. I believe you are following. However, whether you are referring to the plural of he, the plural of she, or the plural of it, the plural form is what? They. So when you have one pen, you can say it is man. When you have two pens, you have what? They are man. I believe you are following. So the plural for it is they. The plural for she is they. The plural for he is what? They. So we have he plus he is still they. She plus she, they. He plus she is still they. It plus t is still what? They. Just follow me as I'm describing it as that. Now the plural for they, the object position for they is what? Them. So when you use it after the what? After the verb. Let's quickly solve this question together. The motorcycle nearly hit Ngozi and dash. Ngozi and dash. Now, when you do have the dash, is it before the verb or after the verb? Are you saying before the verb? That will be after, because the verb of that sentence is what? It. It. So that means you are going to look for object position pronoun. Object position pronoun. And if you look at all the options, Only option A has the subject position. That is me. All other ones, they are not correct in this expression. So Ngozi and me. Assuming you have Ngozi and dash before the verb, then you could have considered taking I. You can have Ngozi and I instead of Ngozi and me. Don't go for Ngozi and my, Ngozi and myself. That is not useful there. Now, dash were sent to the library by the biology teacher. Dash was sent to the library by the biology teacher. Now you have I and John, John and me, John and I, myself, and John. Now, don't need to be confused. What's the verb of the sentence? Were sent. That is a passive sentence. Were sent. Now, that means the subject cases will be looked for. And among the options, which one has subject positions? You have options A and D and C rather. I and John and I. Can you see? After you have known now that you have to look for subjective case, you now have two options showing I and John, John and I. You don't need to permutate and be guessing which one will be the correct answer. By the time you have two nouns as this, there is what we call the rule of preference. You prefer others before you. So in this case, you allow John to come before what? I. So in other words, you are going to have what? John and I were sent to the library by the biology teacher. Are you getting it now? So it's not I and John, but rather what? John and I. Even if you look at the item 1, that first question, the motorcycle nearly hit Ngozi and what? And me, not me and Ngozi. You see that Ngozi comes before what? Me. That is what an insight into that. Look at this one too. Michael invited Dash to his birthday party. What is the verb of that sentence? To start with, that is what? Invited, right? So you are looking for what? Objective case because it comes after invited, which is the verb. So which one has me in the options? It's fact, it's just clear. That is option C. Tunde and what? Tunde and me. That one does not give you problem. You don't have me and Tunde, Tunde and me. Tunde and I and Tunde. That is clearly written there. Item number 4, dash are good friends. Dash are good friends. So you are looking for two nouns that will be joined together to become plural here. Is it going to be he and I and him, I and he and me? Without stressing ourselves, we know we are looking for objective cases. Subjective cases, that is before the verb, right? So you have he and I and he. Based on what we learned earlier, what will be your correct answer? That will be option A. That will be he and I, because others should come before you. In honoring, preferring another, let each esteem other better than himself. I'm not the one that says so, it's the Bible. All right, Francis and Dash participated in the tournament. Where do you have the verb participated? That means the dash is before participating before the verb. So we are looking for object and a subject case. Among the options, which one has subject? That is option C, E. Francis and E participated in the tournament. Others of it. It was Dash who fought the Civil War. This one is an exception to what we've been learning. We'll consider that as we progress in the class. However, here you have this construction. It's called cleft sentence. Because it there is not referring to anything, it's called empty or dummy it. This is also explained more in Rule 61 of the English Concord class. Make sure you also listen to it, get full explanation on this. So the answer here will not be them as against all the rules we've been looking at, because you have it and was. That is cleft construction. You are going to have what? It was they who fought the Civil War. Look at this one too. It is are. When the sentence starts with empty it, anticipatory it, you use a subjective case verb after the verb that follows. That is, that after the verb that you have there, like it was. When you see a sentence starting with it was or it is, you what? You look for subjective case. So it is I who what? Who fights. That is option A, the Civil War. In this class, we looked at pronouns, the types of pronouns, and as well as the personal pronouns, first, second, third, person, subjective, objective case, singular, and plural forms. In the next class, we looked at other parts of